I should have walked out, and instead of being as red as I am with this sunburn, I should have been like, she was changing my colostomy bag. Okay, I need help.
It's the Scott and Allie Not for Air podcast. The rules are gone. The shirt is untucked. Here's Scott and Allie.
What? What are you laughing at? Are you laughing at this look right here?
I just noticed we both have sunburns. Yes.
We are on fire.
Yes.
First of all, welcome to the Scott and Allie Not for Air podcast. The first thing I have to say is that it's rare, but both of us are toasted infernos at the exact same time.
It's so bad. I keep on... It's weird. I almost showed our boss, but mine's on my stomach, the worst. I also have these two real cute lines at the top of my thighs because I was sitting in a inner tube.
Yeah.
But, I wasn't going to show them that. But I feel like a little weird showing people my sunburn, but I just scratched my head. I think it's a little bit on my scalp too.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. So
my one girlfriend, her scalp is burnt real bad.
Oh man. So mine comes from sitting at a 4-game soccer tournament on Saturday and then another game of soccer on Sunday. By the way,
so what you're saying is 4 games. That means that Gavin's really good. His team's good.
No, the tournament was Lydia's team. I have to tell you, this young lady. So she would always do well in practice, participate, do the drills. She ends up during the 4 games, which, by the way, her team won all 4 games in the tournament.
What's the name of her team?
Well, they're all from U.S. Salt, and they're all, just like the Tiny Tykes. So that's
they don't have anything like the Destroyers.
No, but they destroyed their competition. All 4 of their games they won. Lydia scored 2 goals.
Wow.
Had breakaways. I didn't expect it to come flying on the way that it did.
And what did you say? She had a breakaway?
She had breakaways twice with the ball. Where
Look
she
at
was,
you with the soccer lingo.
Yeah, well, that's anything, any sport where you get out in front of everybody, you're breaking away. So.
Do you actually know the rules or what?
No, not at all. Well, I'm getting there. I'm getting better. I think all of us, we're actually knowing the rules better in Gavin's team. Collectively, all the parents are starting to pick up on certain rules. There's one parent in particular that knows all the rules, had been involved in coaching. So that's a tremendous help to our coach, who it's her first time coaching. Wonderful lady. So the rules are coming into play. And also with Gavin's team, it's a completely new team, top to bottom. None of these kids have played together. So they've had a season of a learning curve, but they're doing better every single time, and they work hard, and they're learning more. So by fall, when they play, assuming that I am distracting myself.
Does it ever end?
No, I am distracting myself with this sunburn from the sunglasses. I feel like a reverse raccoon.
You are.
So by fall, they should be.
By fall, it's indoor soccer. Oh my God. One of my girlfriends, actually one of my best girlfriends, her one kid, he's now a senior in high school, but he's been in soccer his whole life. They travel everywhere. He did a tournament in Cleveland recently.
Wow, yeah.
Yes, they've been in New York City. They are involved.
Yeah, that's good for them. That's great. If you choose to live that lifestyle of the travel, I have friends that do a ton of traveling between 3 kids. And if you want to live that lifestyle, if that's your choice, have at it. You're
like, Gavin, don't be that good. Don't be that good. Don't be that good.
Although
Lydia, suck it up a little bit.
Yeah,
like,
right? I think we have a few years before there'd be travel soccer. Although Gavin has a couple buddies that are on a swim team, and he's a really good swimmer, and there may be a little bit, but I think the most they travel is like from Elmira to Ithaca or something like that. It's not terrible.
Still, it's one of those things where all of a sudden you're paying for hotel rooms and yeah. You better start saving up, my friend.
So that's nice between the sunburns that we both have. And I was going to tell you, if you see a line of sweat come across my brow. So this is a very fresh podcast. When this is released, when you will be watching or listening to this, it will barely be 24 hours old. A lot of times we try to get the podcast done a little bit earlier than that, but Allie was out of town on vacation, which I know there's a story from that coming up in the podcast. And, this is very fresh. And also a lot of times we will eat right before the podcast and burp our way through.
Yeah.
But this time I don't think we have. I've seen you have a couple chips, which is a rarity for us.
Yeah, I ate some Quest, these protein chips.
Nobody needs that. But
they're really good, actually. I don't like this flavor as much. Zach picked these out. The nacho cheese flavor is so good.
The aftertaste. But anyway, so if you see a line of sweat come across my brow, I've had a discovery today.
What's that?
And that is I don't think I can take a Z-Pack, even on a not empty stomach. You know how certain antibiotics kind of get you?
Mm-hmm. So you're not feeling good, huh?
I'm okay now. I'm very nervous on eating, although I do feel 10 pounds lighter. I'm not going to lie. Mm-hmm. There is the plus to that.
Yeah.
But let me just tell you, it hit out of nowhere. And it's like the end of the Z-Pack. I had a roaring sore throat last week, and I have no clue where it came from. But
not anymore right now.
No, I'm totally fine. Got put on the pack, and within a day, it was gone. Actually, it was funny. Monday and Tuesday of last week. Monday, it wasn't here yet. Tuesday and Wednesday, it was. Mm-hmm. And I remember telling you, I'm like, ooh, this is just not, it's swords down the throat. And then I got it Wednesday, the Z-Pack, and then Thursday. And I had a reaction on Thursday, and I thought to myself, maybe this is working. It's fighting it. You know, it's cutting in. Today,
not good.
I was actually advised, don't take the last pill. Just be done with it. So I'm going to end it. I feel 100%. I'm just done.
I get that way with zinc. I take zinc.
Oh, you and me both. We both do the zinc if we're getting, I didn't do it this time, but we both have, and we both have made the tragic mistake of doing it on an empty stomach, like first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Don't do it. It makes you feel awful.
No. Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
can I ask you a question about your sunburn?
Yeah.
So, mine, which covers more than my reverse raccoon face, mine now goes down the back of my legs. This was a hell of a burn. I didn't know I got it so bad, right? And I have a beautiful V, which comes right about on my chest.
Too.
Yeah, we're really attractive. I even tried to even it out by wearing a little bit of a muscle shirt yesterday to show off my non-muscles. Just thought like, I'll even this out a little bit.
I'll wear a noodle shirt and show off my noodles.
Yeah, right? Yeah, exactly. I don't think it helped much. Do you forget about it till you get in the shower, and then all of a sudden, the first 3 seconds, you're like,
oh my God, it was the worst. Showering hurt so bad, and I was like sweating in my sleep.
It's terrible.
Yeah. I forgot what it's like to have a sunburn to this caliber.
It's really, well, you got yours on water, which I swear is 1,000 times worse.
Oh my gosh, especially because I sunscreened twice.
Ugh.
And I still got sunburned terrible.
And I've been on the same river that you were on in Asheville for that tubing ride. And I also got one of the sunburns on that river. I swear that it was to end them all, even with sunscreen.
Did you wear a shirt when you did it?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay. Because I was thinking
Did you wear a shirt when you did it?
I was thinking about wearing a tank top, but because I had a 2-piece on. And then I'm like, no, I'm gonna slather up and yeah. And that was one of the best parts of vacation. Now let me tell you, there's highlights and lowlights, right?
Yes.
So a low light, I guess, or maybe this is a highlight. We got an Uber driver, and he told us that he eats crickets. And yes, and
did you tell him you have eaten a cockroach?
Well, that story came out on vacation. But he's like, oh, yeah, it's great protein. He goes, no, I didn't know that I was eating crickets until one of the legs like touched my mouth. I'm like, no. But then he kept saying how good of protein it was. He was such a weirdo. You meet the weirdest people. Then we had an Uber driver that we tried to convince to take us to Taco Bell at like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, God.
And we said we would pay him extra. We would just pay him straight out cash. And he's like, no, we're about to get into some surge pricing. So I need to get back out on the road. I'm like, just freaking take me to Taco Bell.
So did you guys get the needed meal you needed following an evening with friends? What did you do? Because there are times you just have to eat.
We ended up, we had a bunch of snacks at the Airbnb. So we just like ate 10 like small bags like this, like 10 bags of tiny chips, and then went to bed on an empty stomach.
No good.
I know. And then
good.
The last one was, actually, there's 2 other things. We were clearly in a Mexican neighborhood because when we went to the convenience store, they had really unusual snacks. They were like pineapple cookies, mango chocolate covered rings.
Pineapple cookies.
Right? Like it didn't sound like something that I would love, but sounded like something I wanted to try. and they just sound so odd. And they have like that. Is it called like Jerrigan's Pop? It looks like a Mexican pop, basically.
I have no idea.
I don't know, but we said we were going to try those.
But you know, if you take one of those Mexican pops and you put it in a glass, you're pour favoring.
Oh my God. Now
That
here
hurt.
was
And almost as bad as the sunburn.
here was the best or worst part. So we went to this bar and we were trying to find dive bars. That was kind of our thing. Is that
Oh yes, I'd always like to go out to a place where I can fear for my life while I'm enjoying something.
no, I don't feel like it was definitely our speed. Like we found this one place called the Burger Bar, but there was no burgers. There wasn't.
Hence, you needed Taco Bell after.
Yeah, they didn't serve any food whatsoever, and even on their social media, it says seriously, there's no burgers. So we went to these dive bars and everything. Well, we were specifically looking for these bars. We end up going to one, and there's two things that happen that are very unusual in Asheville. One of them is that if they serve alcohol and no food, you have to sign like a club membership.
Oh.
Did you ever have this?
No.
And I don't know if this is a new law or something. So we literally either signed a booklet or we like put our information into an iPad, which I thought was really odd. And then had to pay $6. So we're at this.
So you joined the club.
Yes. So we're at this dive bar, and my one girlfriend said, I have to go to the bathroom. Okay, no problem. So she comes back like literally 2 minutes later, and we're like, we knew she didn't go to the bathroom. And she said, we got to go. I'm like, what? She's like, let's go. And we're like, what happened? What's wrong? She's like, I'll tell you in a second. Like, let's go. She walked into two people having sex in the bathroom.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And she said, because they were like these single stall bathrooms.
Yes.
She said single person bathrooms. She said, I bet you they wanted to get caught. That's why they did it. Because why wouldn't you just lock the door then?
So I take, so the bathroom, when you say single stall.
No, I meant to say single person.
Single person. Oh, yeah. Why wouldn't you? Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, in the heatest of heated passions, you got to have that brain thing going for just a second.
Right. Like
Why didn't you stay and when they came out, just go, yeah, all right.
I know. I kind of thought about it, but she was visibly either upset or mad. I couldn't tell which one, but she's like, ew, like we got to go.
We got to go.
We got to go. Yeah.
You got to be in an interesting spot to use a bathroom like that.
Wait, didn't you hook up with somebody in a bathroom once?
All right. So it was 3 lifetimes ago.
Were you in the stall at least?
No, it was a single person bathroom.
Okay. Did you lock the door?
Yes, and because I am not an exhibitionist, at least not that I know of yet.
Oh,
what? Oh, sorry. And
me neither. Me neither.
So, and it was actually at a friend's wedding. And the bathroom was right next to a bar. This is an ancient story. And I mean, when I say ancient, this is like 20 some years old.
Like, I don't think this has ever been told on the podcast. I think this has been told on the show.
If it was told on the show, it was told a long good 15 plus years ago.
Well, obviously it was told because I remembered it, but I didn't remember all the details.
All right, here
of
we
it.
go. So my buddy JB and Kim's wedding up in Buffalo, and it was at a very nice hotel downtown.
Ooh.
And there was, and I will freely say, this was my ex-wife. This was, like I said, 3 lifetimes ago.
Uh-huh.
And it was early in our marriage.
Right.
And
that's like not something that you do if you're like 16 years in.
No. And dear God, if my 23-year-old daughter hears this and has never heard this story before, well,
you might want to turn it off now.
Yeah, let's just say there was a knocking at the door.
Does she listen to our podcast?
One never knows who's going to tune in and when.
That's true. That's true.
So let's just say there was a knocking at the door requesting that the bathroom be vacated.
But how did they know? Because if you're at a hotel and it's a hotel bar, it's loud.
Yeah, because
they saw 2 people walk in.
Maybe that was the case. But then, I mean, I figure I'm quick on my feet. I should have walked out, and instead of being as red as I am with this sunburn, I should have been like, she was changing my colostomy bag. Okay, I need help. Like,
right.
Who is going to argue a point like that?
Nobody.
100% untrue. But the minute you say, I had a full colostomy bag.
Right, then you go, oh, sir, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
We apologize. Yeah. Can we get you 1 on the house? No, you may get me 2 on the house. Thank you. So I should have.
Dang it.
I think I just came out as red as this goes, and I'm pretty sure my buddy JB, who's an amazing ball buster, probably pointed out even more what was going down than
of course
what was, then it didn't even give me the chance to come to a good idea. Like, need a little help in there, but there's one for anyone else to use should you get the heat of passion and get busted in on.
So did you guys come out right away, or did you stay in there for a while?
I mean, things had, yes. I mean, it was as quick as possible. I mean, obviously you have to, you don't want to walk out in the exact setting that you're in at that moment, all right? People are going to be like, we didn't know that there was going to be a donkey costume at this party.
A donkey
Where's
costume?
the costume? In those costumes, someone has to be in the back, someone's in the front.
Oh my God.
And if there was no costume, you'd see.
Right, where's the guy? I got it.
That's how we.
That took me a minute.
Yeah.
Oh
Colostomy bag, okay? It needed to be changed. And see, nobody will question it.
Oh my God.
Not a soul, yes. I lost a contact lens, could bring questions.
Okay, but even if you say that, she was helping me with my contact lens, then I think you could go.
With the door locked, and oddly, it hurt in a way when my contact was going back in that I probably made a sound you've not heard when a contact goes in. Colostomy bag.
Colostomy
Go
bag.
with the bag.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
No disrespect to anyone that has one. I just want to point out, I mean, it's something to use as an excuse.
This was a question we said we were going to ask. We didn't get to it last podcast, and we're going to use it on this podcast. One last thing, though, I forgot to tell you. So do you remember on the last podcast where we were naming the actors and actresses?
Oh, that was a lot of fun.
Right. So we're at a bar, and the Burger Bar, actually. We're at this bar.
Now, is that the same place that they were going at it?
No.
Oh.
No.
Do you want to give the name of that place?
I think it was called Double Crown.
That's about right.
Yeah. So we're at the Burger Bar, and there's this guy who's sitting by himself, just drinking beer, but at a picnic table, which is kind of weird. You sit by yourself at the bar, not at the picnic table outside, but whatever. So then the guy asked me a question about, because I was trying on jackets from the Burger Bar because I was going to buy one. It looked really cool. It had the burger guy from Popeyes. Remember the?
Oh, Pluto.
Yes.
No, was it?
What is it? Pluto?
No, blue.
Hold on.
Hold
on, I'll look it up.
Burger guy from Popeyes. Wimpy.
Is that it?
Wimpy. J. Wellington Wimpy. I had to Google it myself.
So I was trying on jackets, and this guy ended up asking me, the guy at the picnic table who's by himself, oh, did you buy that jacket or something along those lines? So then we start talking, and my two friends that I'm with, they're like, only you have the riz to bring anybody in the conversation.
Yep.
And so then we're like, come sit with us, come hang out. Come to find out, he is originally from, or has family from where we all grew up. So it was kind of cool. So we played that game, though. I started naming off. I was like, okay, John Travolta, Tom Hanks, and everybody at the table was like, this is so fun.
It's a great game.
Yes. So that's one of the things that we did when we were there. And then the guy left, and he was awesome. But he left. He was going to a wedding. None of us exchanged any information with him whatsoever. It wasn't like, hey, let's follow each other on social. But one of my friends who I was traveling with, he brought up a good point. He was like, we've done that before where we meet somebody on vacation, we exchange information.
Yeah.
And we never talked to them ever again.
I just had it happen. When we were in New York City over Christmas, we met this great couple that originally was from England, and they now live near the Philadelphia area. Really wonderful people. And I've exchanged one text with them, and that was it. And I'm like, God, I'd really like to stay in contact with them, but what happens?
I don't really know you that well. Also, I have a hard time staying in contact with the people who live around me, who are my real friends.
Yes.
So the funny
I also
thing
figure if they wanted to stay in touch, they could also reach out to me.
Exactly. The funny thing is, what happened with the text? Who reached out to who?
I reached out to them because I was actually about to tell their story of how we met them on the air, and it was back on the show, around January.
Yeah.
And we were talking about, right after the trip. Yeah, it would have been January.
Yeah.
And we were talking about meeting them how nice they were, told a little bit of the story. This was, obviously months ago. And I wanted to let them know, if you can listen, if not, you'll find it later on demand.
Okay.
And they loved it. And then we just sort of.
And that was it.
But you know what? People's lives are busy. I think.
Exactly. Like I said, I can't even keep up with the people that are here. Like, I haven't seen my friend Sonia, and I can't even tell you when.
And she lives literally 5 minutes away.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get it.
Now, but on that same note, though, I have a friend, Tony and Jess. They went somewhere, I don't know, let's say Chicago or something. It doesn't matter. They met a couple from Scotland. They stay in contact with them. Tony and Jess just went to Scotland.
Oh, that's cool.
Right. They went there to hang out with this couple. I'm like, man, that is so cool. But
that's very cool.
Right. But no, Stephen and I will not be staying in touch.
Well, Stephen, it was nice to know you.
I don't even know if I told him what I did for a living. Because then he could listen or he could reach out on social media that way. Like I always say, I'm the easiest person to find on social.
Sure.
But anyway, here's the last thing. We said we were going to talk about this from the podcast last week. The question is it cheating if a woman who said her ex pays her $500 a month to not tell his fiance he subscribes to her on OnlyFans?
All right, let me take this down again. So the woman's doing OnlyFans.
Yep.
And the current knows, obviously.
The current
boyfriend, is that right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, I mean, it doesn't matter because she's not with anybody.
Oh, she's alone.
She's alone.
But her ex is with somebody.
Yes.
Well, it's on the verge. And let me tell you why I would say it feels, if not cheating, it feels, why are you still connecting in that way? They're obvious, assuming the now ex-girlfriend, they no longer engage together. The ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend no longer engage in any sexual activity.
I mean, not touching, but he's looking at her on OnlyFans.
No, but I'm saying in actual contact
Correct.
with each other, but he will watch what she does.
Yep.
And pays a subscription.
Yes.
I would not like it if I was the new partner of this guy that's subscribing to the ex, because my questions would go through my mind of, that was terminated. Like it's interesting he still has access to see things that normally when you're an ex you don't see anymore.
Right.
Right. Technically cheating, no, but boy, it would be a bad fight. And because all I could think about is, why do you need to keep going back and seeing that? Now, you're not going back and touching that or doing anything with that, but you might be doing something alone.
I think it is cheating because I look at it in the same, and I put it in the same box as, it's like lying.
He's wishing he could.
Right. Lying or cheating by omission. Like, if I am texting with an ex and I'm not telling my current, then I think that there is a form of cheat there. There's like this emotional thing. Now, when he's watching
I can let that one go. I can be, there's certain things. I have trust till I don't have trust, if that makes sense.
I have trust, but emotionally, I think there's still something there. You were physically, and because when these two people were interacting in a sexual way, the exes, right? When they were together, and they weren't exes at that point, they interacted on a physical and an emotional sense.
Sure.
So now we just took one piece out of it. We took the physical out of it.
But you didn't take it all the way out.
I know. But that's what I'm saying. I think there still is an emotional cup that's getting filled.
Oh, yeah.
Which puts that, for me, in a cheating category.
It's not as though you just caught him looking at naughty movies. It's
there's no emotional tie to Jessica Jameson or whoever the porn person is that I don't know. So that's the major difference.
That is a problem, because there is definitely some sort of a hang-up connection that still, is you want to be connected in some way. Either you're not over what you're not getting anymore.
Right, which is why you're paying her to not say anything, because you want to be connected.
Now, if your friend, if your ex went into doing naughty movies and you stumbled across it and they brought it right to you and said, "Oh my God, I just found my ex doing naughty movies. Look at this."
Yes.
That would be one of those things where it's not cheating, unless it's a different argument if she doesn't really care for you watching the naughty movies. But then again, people got to do what people got to do, I guess. How much control do you need in a relationship?
Well, that's a whole other story for another day. But that's the thing about, okay, if I stumble upon her and I come right forward, you're being so honest. Oh my gosh, I just found, I was on RedTube and I found my ex.
So wait a minute. She is paying him or he is paying her?
He is paying his ex to not say anything.
So this is twice she's getting paid.
Yeah.
She's getting paid for the OnlyFans subscription, and she's getting a little extra, just the tip, if you will, for keeping her mouth shut and her legs open.
Yes. All of the things.
Oh, okay.
And that's the other thing. Then there's the monetary part of it where it's like, now you're investing money, a lot of money, to make sure that door stays open.
This is a relationship ender, and here's why.
Of course.
I mean, it is, but here's where the relationship ender also ties in. Beyond the argument you're saying right now, let's say he stops today. He goes, that's it. You know what? Out of respect for my new, I can't do this anymore. I mean, I just can't.
Yeah.
If that happens, okay, and even 3 years down the line, it comes out that he did this for any period of time while he is with his, I have to say new, even though there's, again, I was saying this about trust. I will trust someone and I will trust you. You have my trust up front. Okay.
Same.
It's there until you lose my trust and you will never get it back. You never, ever, ever will get it back.
Even if you try, because I've done that. Nope. I've tried. And I've given second chances and it just doesn't work.
I may still need to be associated around you in some way, shape, or form, whatever it may be, if it's a colleague or something like that, but I will never freely just be there. Now, please don't misuse my trust, because I would like to be whatever I can be for you, whether it's a good colleague, a strong partner, whatever, but don't. It's like people that say, oh, I was with somebody that cheated, but then I forgave him and moved on. Are you really that naive to think that that's a one-time thing?
Oh, I know. I couldn't do it. That's why I'm saying I tried to trust again and it just didn't work.
It doesn't. There's no way.
Right.
No,
exactly.
I'm now leaning much more towards, without the actual act of physical touch between the two, it is absolutely cheating now that I've had time.
That's interesting that you say that, because right away, I think you're thinking of physical touch, where right away I went for the emotional side of it. And that definitely makes a difference between you and I, because I 1000% had it solidified in my mind it was cheating because of that.
Yeah. And, I'll go with that too, because I want to add with that, she's eventually going to find out. Somehow there's this.
I mean, look at that Ashley Madison doc, where so many people, their data got leaked and people found out that their husbands and wives were cheating and everything. Yeah.
There is eventually going to be a day where the current finds out. And when that happens, it's going to be heartbreaking. And there's in my opinion, who knows? Maybe she'd be fine with it. Maybe she'd be one of these people. She's like, well, I don't care. It's like, I know I'm better and you're never going back there and this and that. But if you're better, then why are you still going back?
You're going back. That's right. Exactly. Like I said, you're keeping that door open and paying for it. For what reason? There's something about her that you're still attached to, which means you're not with me. Now, it would be different if they were in an open relationship or something like that, but that's not the case.
Would it?
Well, I guess it depends on your rules.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because open relationships have rules, and I know friends who have had open relationships and it worked well for a while until all of a sudden, until it doesn't. Yeah. A rule got broken. I wouldn't even say a rule got broken. Something happened and there wasn't an established rule, which I think is the problem. So there wasn't an established rule and then somebody got hurt. Yeah. So, and I said to this person, that's why you have to have rules, because if you're going to do that, then I don't know what the rules are. What's the rules of the game?
Yeah. I am not a person that can be jumping around, especially if I'm in a relationship.
No.
I couldn't do it when I was just an alone person. I've never been the type of person where I could be like, well, time to play the field. Monday's this person, Tuesday's that person. I can't do it.
And who's got time for that? Two things. I don't have the dang time, and I can't remember what story I told to who. So
and that's why you steer clear.
Exactly. Even on vacation, I'm like, did I tell you guys this story? And then I come home and I'm trying to tell Zach about my vacation, and he's like, I mean, how many of these best hits are you going to repeat? Because you've told me that same thing 3 times. I'm like, I did? I can't remember.
Glad I'm back from vacation.
Yeah. I'm like, I can't remember who I told what to. So no, that's not in my wheelhouse either.
What did he do while you were on vacation, Zach? That is, just watch World War II and Civil War documentaries for 4 days?
You know? So here's the funny thing. So going back to what I mentioned at the, was it the end of the last podcast or the podcast before about going to bingo? My boyfriend, all of a sudden, I think he's found his person, and it's not me. It's our neighbor. So yesterday was Father's Day, and he had a lunch planned with his dad and his brothers and everything. All the guys of the family went.
Yeah.
So I saw him leave our house on our Ring camera really early. So I said, "Where are you going?" He goes, "Oh, I'm going to go to the Gun and Rod Club with our neighbor." I'll leave his name out. Maybe I already said it. Who knows? But anyway.
He won't remember.
So he gets home. I won't. So he gets home and he was like, "Oh yeah, I had breakfast this morning. They had like an $8 breakfast." I'm like, wait. So you went and had breakfast. Then you went shooting, like clay shooting. Yeah. I'm like,
now, meanwhile, you were on a plane.
Who is this social person?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Where did that come from? Now, you were on a plane, so it wasn't like it was interfering time with you yesterday.
Oh, I wouldn't care if he did it anyway.
Well, sure, but I'm just saying. Well, but after a vacation, you kind of like a little bit of time pretty quick.
Oh, yeah, right. But it's the fact that I'm like, who are you?
Yeah.
You're going to bingo? You're going to breakfast?
Someone that shares his interests.
Right. You're going to the Rod and Gun Club? I'm like, Jesus. I did it.
Your neighbor will be going to his hocky games to cheer him on.
Oh my God, totally. That's exactly what it's going to be. I love it. I really do. I love that they've connected so much. But I'm like, I'm sorry, you have a social life?
When did this happen?
Right, exactly. You never left the house before.
Just telling you, when you come home and they're both swimming in the pool and you're just getting home from work, turn around and go find your friend Sonia and say, "Let's go get a drink."
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh.
I think we're good. Are you good? I actually think I want to eat now. I do. My system's going, you might be able to try something now.
I'm starving. All right. You guys have a great week.
Goodbye.
Well, that was fun. Wasn't that fun? That was fun. Do us a favor, will you? Subscribe. Share the Scott and Alley Not for Air podcast. Touch our buttons. We know you want to.